On his first day in office, Donald Trump signed an executive order that defined sex instead of gender. He defined men and women as biologically male and female, and this angered all the right people, including people in Hollywood like Ariana Grande.
Aww.
And in response to Donald Trump's executive order,
she skipped a meal?
She can't afford to do that. That is dangerous territory.
Yeah, it is.
Rather, she shared multiple posts on her Instagram.
Oh, please.
Thank you.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat.
Ariana Grande responded to Trump by sharing an Instagram post from advocates for trans equality, who wrote, "Today is a tough day for our community. The incoming administration campaigned on attacking trans people's lives, healthcare, and dignity, and we're bracing ourselves for what these extremists will try to do next. No matter what comes, we will protect each other. We have fought even harder battles before and won. We'll do it again." She also shared a tirade from podcast host Matt Bernstein, which read, "Let's be very clear. Queer and trans people were here before Donald Trump and will continue to be here after he's dead. Whether or not you want us to exist is secondary to the simple fact that we do. The sun does not care if you sign an executive order telling it to stop rising each morning. It just continues to rise."
Mental.
The executive order did not state there are not people who exist that identify as the opposite sex. That is not what the executive order stated. It just defined sex.
Mental defect.
In fact, it inadvertently kind of affirmed personhood after conception, because in the way that it worded that statement, it said those who are conceived like prior to birth as male and female. So that was an interesting part that they failed to mention here. But the executive order did not say people who identify as trans no longer exist. Like, it didn't say they just disintegrated into the air. Like Trump did not take the Thanos gauntlet and snap his fingers to make trans people disappear. That's not what happened.
Give me the Donald Trump the left believes that he is.
As Marius said, yeah.
And she also shared another post featuring the footage of that female so-called bishop reaming Donald Trump and calling on him to have mercy on transgender children who are undocumented, who fear for their lives.
That person is an Episcopalian? Is that the case?
Yeah, Episcopalians
Do you know anything
have
about
female
them?
clergy.
Do you know anything about Episcopalians?
Okay, so...
Because I don't know much.
The Anglican Church broke off from the Catholic Church and made the English monarch their version of the Pope. Then I presume the way it all happened is Anglicans went to America and no longer were loyal to the English monarch, and therefore they have their own clergy.
And they became the Episcopalians.
Yes.
So like the King of England is Anglican?
Yes.
Okay.
Officially and not allowed to be Catholic, still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they do have female bishops, if you want to call them that, and that female bishop was responsible for...
I like the term heretic.
Yeah, she is a heretic. But yeah, she claimed that LGBT undocumented children are fearing for their lives in this upcoming administration in Trump's America. Demi Lovato also echoed these statements, despite the fact that Demi Lovato no longer goes by they, them pronouns.
When did that change?
She just said it was too much work.
That was like a couple years ago that she gave up on having they, them pronouns because it was too complicated or something, but I presume this means she still identifies as non-binary. This is her Instagram post. "If you are trans or non-binary like me, please know that I see you, I feel you," a little creepy, "I am with you, you are validated, you are loved, and you are not alone. No one can take away our identities, and no one can tell us who we are or aren't. We will get through this. I love you." I am in the room with you. I am breathing down your
feel
neck
you.
as I type this.
It's only marginally.
I am
creepy.
staring at you. So, you're seen, heard, validated, etc. Remember when she sang to a ghost?
I remember that to overcome the ghost trauma of misogyny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She went to an abandoned location and sensed the presence of a female ghost who had trauma from being subjected to misogyny. So she decided to serenade the ghost with
As
her
one
hit
does.
song Skyscraper. Incredible moment for Demi Lovato. Very in touch with reality.
It's all just kind of a bunch of word salad. That's what it all looks
But
like.
I do see that mainstream establishment Hollywood is doubling down on acceptance of trans ideology and gender ideology. As the Oscars are coming up, they decided to nominate a trans actor for Best Actress. This is the first time that a trans-identified actor has been nominated for an Oscar ever in the history of the award ceremony.
You know, can we talk about trans people acting some more?
I mean, they're the best at it. It's a lifelong calling of theirs.
The jokes just write themselves.
This actor's name is Carla Sofia Gasson, the transgender star of Netflix's musical Emilia Perez. This actor was nominated for Best Lead Actress and the first
Emilia-
openly trans actor to ever receive an Oscar nomination.
I believe Emilia Perez got 13 nominations. It's the most nominated non-English ever, like non-English movie or production ever.
I
the
feel
Oscars.
like the fact that it's in Spanish is Oscar bait in and of itself.
Could be.
Am I wrong?
Could be.
And they also had Selena Gomez in Emilia Perez speaking Spanish, which is not a language that she grew up speaking. She learned it for the role.
That's even funnier.
And people have been making fun of her left and right for how bad she is at doing the accent and everything.
Give her a break. She tried.
She is Latina, but she did not grow up speaking Spanish. And that's a whole other can of worms. But
I guess something like this, if I was to be cynical, would say that they knew it was going to get them a lot of press. I mean, it was a very popular thing this year. Emilia Perez was very, very popular. It was all over the trades and the news and the ratings. So that doesn't shock me at all. But this nomination was always going to be a very big buzz for them at a time when award shows just aren't what they used to be.
well, this is their way of making right the wrongs of Emilia Perez, because GLAAD actually spoke out against the portrayal of this trans character at the time that it came out. GLAAD criticized this movie for its portrayal of transgenderism, saying that the movie features a profoundly retrograde portrayal of a trans woman and represents a step backward for trans representation. Because
they
there's
explain
never
why?
enough work done.
Well, there's no money to be made in the work being finished. There's a 20 there from Just 'Cause I'm Free.
Let me find that.
Says there can be no female bishops or in any position of leadership. It is in Timothy 2:11-12. So those are not real. Demi Fato will resist how exactly?
And, to be fair to Demi Lovato, she did lose the extra weight. She's looking hot again. She no longer has this whole queer get up, but she still identifies as non-binary, just without the pronouns and without any of the meaning
Too
that
much
it
to
had in the
keep
first
track
place,
of.
which is already dubious at best.
I mean, this is a lot of things that people talk about in Hollywood is the idea of luxury beliefs. And these are the quintessential luxury beliefs that those of wealth and privilege do have the ability to think about stuff like this, when the average everyday American just isn't going to put a whole lot of thought into these types of things outside of, a very basic discussion with people.
I guess that GLAAD's controversy over Emilia Perez was, they argue the screenplay is overly cisgender and inauthentic in its representation of the transitioning process.
Okay.
Faced backlash from many transgender critics and advocates for a harmful and inaccurate depiction of transgender experiences. They put out a whole press release about it, in fact.
Yeah. But still, that's a lot of nominations for something that did get pushback within the access media community.
I wonder if Will and Harper is going to get a nomination for, best documentary or something.
Well, actually, Sebastian Stan was nominated for his portrayal of Donald Trump in The Apprentice.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
he was waiting for the validation to start rolling in, and then a bunch of his colleagues in this industry didn't want to associate with him anymore because he became...
Look, I don't know if I buy that anyways.
Well,
Bro just didn't get a couple of phone calls for a couple of months, and suddenly he's public enemy number one?
according to his claim, he wasn't allowed to do variety actors on actors because no other actors wanted to associate with him.
Not allowed, but just nobody else wanted to touch that with it. And those people were right, given the way that the election went. And
They didn't want to spend an hour trashing Trump on camera because it's not fashionable to do so anymore, which is something we're going to talk about a little more later.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.